So I'm going to talk about a few things relating to this project and some key things that we find really important in any kind of plan of advocacy in general, which are firstly motivation, desire, problem solving, and communication. And firstly, the motivation was not really actually a problem per se, as from the very name of the project, Bike My Way, our motivation and our goal was pretty clear: to incentivize people to bike their way to school and to assure a safe environment for children wanting to commute from school and back. So from this point of view, this was clearly our goal, to make a better life for the people that want to commute for school. And in order to do that, you want to, in any kind of policy you want to implement, in any kind of thing that you want to propose, you have to identify problems, but firstly, you need to have the desire of the people. That's the first step that we ever took. We make this questionnaire regarding, well, would you children want to bike to school? Would you people be willing to bike to school? And in the vast majority of cases, the answer was absolutely yes. And the but is the part where it gets interesting. Because frankly speaking, the buts are exactly the problems that the children that would want to bike to school are confronting in day-to-day life. And we try to identify these problems and later on find a reliable solution for it. Now, in the kind of chronological order, if you want, the first but that we identified was we would like to go to school, but we're lacking infrastructure. There is no actual way for us to get there and back home safely. So what we're proposing today is, European standards for biking infrastructure included in our specific legislation. What we need is a legal framework that would later on be basically the way to make some reliable infrastructure regarding bike lanes, because we already had bike lanes in Romania, but unfortunately they were done on the sidewalks. Now, although this might sound counterintuitive and people usually think this way, having biking lanes on sidewalks are not safer. It's the other way around. Now, obviously, when we're talking about cars and in the eventuality of having an accident, the destructive power of a car is obviously bigger. But the chance of you actually having an accident on the sidewalk is way bigger than having it on the road. And the reason for that happening is because, well, even though cars are bigger, they are kind of foreseeable. They have to respect certain laws, and you can kind of foresee what they're going to do. But that does not happen with pedestrians, because pedestrians basically are like little children that see shiny things. They could go left, they could go right, and you can hit them in every single moment. So from this point of view, what we're proposing today is that we think that the bike lanes should be on the roads and not on the sidewalks. We did have bike lanes on the sidewalks, which basically consisted of some little yellow stickers put on the sidewalks that are not efficient, and later on declared illegal by the municipality. So what we're proposing for today, in order to have a basic infrastructure for children and cyclists in general to get from point A to point B, is to create a European standard for biking infrastructure. And by that we mean something that is reliable, something that is safe, and more importantly, something that is cohesive with the whole traffic in such a way that not only pedestrians are safe, not only cyclists, but also motorists. We want everybody to be safe. The next point that we want, and the next but that we kind of interfered with and identified was, well, I would like to bike to school, but the area around my high school is a highly polluted one, it's a highly populated one, and the traffic around it is really bad. This, for example, is the case of my high school that is put near a really important hub of Bucharest, very short of the folk. So what we're proposing today is to make the zones around the high schools per se more safe. And how we're going to do that is by basically declaring the roads in the direct vicinity of the high school a no parking zone, so that you now have a way of getting in and out of the high school without having the risk of the other problem that we got is that, okay, we got there, we can go from our high school home and back safely, but what happens in the high school is also a problem, because we see a lot of high schools in Romania, for example in Bucharest, that don't have bike parking, don't have a policy regarding bikes and are not bike friendly, so to speak. So what we're proposing is that we must have bicycle racks in absolutely every high school. But not only do we want bicycle racks, because from that point of view the high schools could just come, buy a piece of iron and just throw it in the courtyard. No, that's not what we desire. What we want to propose is creating a safe environment and a place for you to tie up your bicycle, and for the X number of hours that you're going to spend in that respective school, you don't have to live with the concern and come out in every every single recess to ensure that, well, maybe my bike was stolen. We think that from this point of view, this is highly achievable, as we see that most high schools in Romania already have cameras implemented, or at least a guardian, and we're proposing to create a safe environment for your bicycle while you're at school. Now, the fourth and last but that we had was, well, even if we had infrastructure, the real problems are firstly the cyclists and secondly the motorists, because nobody respects these laws, there is no kind of social buy-in, and people do not abide these laws. So from this point of view, we think that the solution for that would be certain campaigns at both drivers and cyclists in order to sensibilize them in the cyclist law and to respect cyclists, to know more about them, and to basically integrate them in order for the motorists to accept them as a cohesive part of the traffic in Bucharest. We think that from this point of view, this should only be aimed at cyclists, so that cyclists respect certain laws, that cyclists are no longer so imprevisible, and that cyclists could now have a fixed route, and that motorists know how to respect them and know where they're supposed to be going. Now, obviously, the next step is the boring step, where you need to make a big file, a big, thick and bushy file that you're supposed to present to the local authorities. And that's exactly what we've done. We have the files here if you want it. It's unfortunately in Romania. Now, we went to the city hall in a mobility meeting with the representatives of the, transportation officer, whatever. Anyway, representatives of the authorities of the city hall. And the response of it was one of, oh, this is actually nice. Go on with it. But this is actually a problem. At first, this might actually sound good, but frankly speaking, it does not. Because realistically speaking, in the moment that you have a project that is in depth with analysis of what you have to do, and you prove that it will work and it is achievable, the burden should be put now on the local authorities that should be responsible for implementing it. But what we don't have from them is the communication needed. What we don't have from the local authorities is that the local authorities we don't have the support from the local authorities, and the local authorities are not interested in actually implementing them. They're just saying, okay, fine, that's an interesting project, go on with it indefinitely, until we eventually decide that we should take it. And from this point of view, we think that there should be more pressure on local authorities to actually make a change. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudiu.